In this modern era of social media, I feel like you can't go anywhere without seeing someone on your feed screaming at you about how you're not doing enough in your life. But maybe, just maybe, it's them that are doing too much in their own life. Bit of Uno reverse for you. Especially as a guy, I feel like my algorithm likes to test me every now and then by showing me some shirtless psychopath screaming at me through the screen, telling me I'm not doing enough and being a man enough. Hey dude, look at this receding hairline. Hate to break it to ya, but I think I've got enough testosterone, thank you very much. Here is a prime example of some of the stuff that I get fed.
When I meet somebody, you want to know how I run a testosterone check on them, you look at their hands. If this one is shorter than this one, you probably squat to pee. If this finger is at the same level as this one, your testosterone level is low. If this finger is longer than this finger, your testosterone level is high.
Let's break this down real quick. Firstly, sitting down to pee is one of the best luxuries that men have the option to do. Like, imagine you've had a big night out drinking with your boys, and you wake up in the middle of the night and you need to go. Would you rather sit there and have a euphoric moment, kind of reminiscing on the beautiful night that you had because you're still drunk? It's in that, like, perfect window of still drunk and before the hangover hits. Would you rather sit down and have that wonderful moment of reflection as a man? Or would you like to wake up in the morning hungover, feeling like crap, and with pee in your closet? All because you wanted to be a man and you refused to sit down and pee. This video is just so funny. This whole like finger test of figuring out how much testosterone that you have in your body. Does this not remind you of like the stuff that you'll learn during your lunch break in high school and you take it as fact? And this grown ass man has now taken that same fact and carried it on for the rest of his life. Never once wanted to check it up, you know? I feel like this is the stuff that you learn in the schoolyard and on the Joe Rogan podcast. I love like what he's trying to convey in this video though. It's just like, hey, when you meet someone for the first time, what you need to do is you need to shake their hand, be like, nice to meet you, and then you have to say, hey, can you just hold up your hand real quick? I just gotta do something, and then proceed to manhandle them. Hey man, I don't know how to tell you this, but that's assault. What's going on, party people? How are you all doing? And yes, today we are looking into this guy that I found online called King Azuli, a king with a social media page in 2025. This is the future that we were after, being able to reach out to the royals. But before we get any further, press subscribe, because for every subscriber we get, another alpha male out in the world has to pass a test to be able to start a podcast. Or open a social media page for that matter. So one night I stumbled upon this guy, Ben Azuli. I have his Instagram up in front of me with his reels ready to go on my brand new handy dandy laptop stand that is definitely not my air conditioner unit.
You see, most people ask, how do I speak so concisely and how do I speak so fast? Let me give you a life-changing hack. What if you could think twice as fast? That would mean that you would have twice the amount of hours in the day. Here's the hack. Everything I listen to is at 2x speed. Everything I think about is at 2x speed. Every time I make a move, it's at 2x speed.
I think bro saw the Busta Rhymes verse and he actually thought that he was that guy, but in reality, he's actually Iggy Azalea doing the Kendrick verse.
Tire marks, finish line with fire marks. When the relay starts to move on the way train, master, she know the pants got spit like a plaster. Raptor, bench, did like go like dash, faster, motorbike faster. He gotta get a bitch past the rapture. White bitch go back and blow like a wind. Perhaps your rooftop of the wind. When I win, they good like she got.
Do we all remember the guy that could manipulate time to create more days in the week?
My day is 6 a.m. to noon, and I'm not crazy. You're crazy for thinking it takes 24 hours, just like some dude in a cave did 300 years ago. My second day starts at noon and goes till 6 p.m. That's day 2. And then the next day is 6 p.m. to midnight. What I've done now is I have changed and manipulated time. I now get 21 days a week.
Chat, have we just like run out of things to say? I feel like all of these guys have the same like thought patterns, but they just find a new way to repackage all of the phrases and find a new crazy way to say it to bait us into engaging with that kind of content. Which is quite humorous when you think about like the whole alpha male sphere. They're the ones that are like, they think like wolves and they're not like sheep. Hey guys, hate to break it to you, but the call is coming from inside the house. The frat house, that is. Does this not remind you of sitting around smoking weed with your homies and coming up with like conspiracy theories? I think this is now trying to be the educated version of that, and it's just doing a terrible job. I think this is like the perfect combination of someone that is going through a hard time and also a very impatient man. I think this is just one giant circle when you think about, right? The Venn diagram is just one giant circle because they're like, hey, you know, can we just hurry all of this up, okay? I have sleep to get for the rest of my life.
I was a high school dropout. I also got kicked out of 17 schools in total, but I never let school get in the way of my education. I don't believe in school. I was an F student, and I've told this before, F students are the creators of the world.
I agree. I don't believe in school either.
Why are these dudes always like obsessed with like dropping out of high school? I get it, you know, they want to feel like that they were so dumb, but now they're so smart because they're so wealthy. But I hate to break it to you, dropping out of high school is not the flex that you think it is. Being ill-educated is a prime example of why we are witnessing the chaos in the world that we are experiencing today, all right? You are a prime example of why we need to put down the social media and pick up a book. Also, the whole I didn't believe in school, I think this is just cope. I didn't do well in high school at all, and I didn't think that that was a flex. I feel like I'm tremendously lucky that I have now found success later in my life, but I spent years of my life trying to catch up to the world and trying to educate myself when I was just doing so poorly in high school, okay? It's more embarrassing than a flex. Again, I feel very fortunate that I'm doing well now in life, but I ain't out here walking around chest out saying I dropped out of high school and now I'm an inventor. I feel like that's the new wage of saying that you're just unemployed. You know, you go out on a date for a first time and the girl's like, oh, so what do you do for work? And you're just like, you know what? I'm a bit of an inventor. Man, she's going to be running for the hills. What are you talking about? I can imagine this guy goes home after the date and his parents are asking how it went, and he explains to him that I told my date that I'm an inventor, and they're like, oh, you're an inventor, are you? Hey, why don't you invent some money in your bank account then and move out?
Money do I spend on outfits? Now, it's not that much. Well, let me share with you what's very important, especially if you're ever going to do big business deals. When you're meeting people like me, we look at a timepiece. People that do big business, they know that this is 100K on the wrist. This is an AP. No diamonds, no bullshit. What I really love is the fact that I'm 6% body fat, weighing at 200 pounds, and that is the best outfit I could ever wear. You see, most people that see me have to stare. And if they don't stare, they'll take a second and a third look. Because what I look like is a living, breathing, walking Bugatti. When I walk inside of a restaurant, I'm a Bugatti walking in. And there's nobody in the world that wouldn't want to have a physique like mine. Because you already know that this kind of physique gets you more attention than anything else.
Man, why are these guys like just so obsessed with watches and working out? Like, look, don't get me wrong, I like a good watch. I don't think it's going to help you that much. And also, you feel like your body is a Bugatti? Bro, are you being for real right now? No, people aren't staring at you because they think your body is a Bugatti. They think you're gonna go into cardiac arrest because of all the steroids you're pumping through your body. No, dude, the reason why the restaurant staff are staring at you is because they feel like they need to have an ambulance on standby, and now the manager is freaking out that they're going to be liable for your death. Also, having a good body doesn't mean that you're going to have like a great business deal. Look at Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Tim Cook, you know, some of the richest people in the world, most average looking dudes that you've ever seen in your life. On another note, I feel like every time that I consume this content, mainly to make myself a YouTube video, so you're kind of welcome here, I feel like I'm losing brain cells every time I'm watching these videos. I feel like this is trying to be high IQ brain rot. Like I said, I did horribly in high school. I am this dude's target audience, but when I watch this, I still can't help but think, who is falling for this?
This is what happens when I'm in the fucking dungeon. A man has to go to his dark side in order for shit to thrive. And men can never find the light without the dark.
Did anyone else feel that when they watched that video? Not a good feeling. No. You mean your mom's basement? Dude, this guy is freaking me out. You can't look at this and not feel like that you're gonna get secondhand trend from this guy. What's the matter, big boy? I thought you already had enough testosterone in your body. A man has to go to his dark place for shit to thrive. Bro really lifted weights one time and now he thinks he's a motivational speaker. Homie will do anything but go to therapy. I don't know why, but I can just picture him like making this kind of content and then his mom calls out for him for dinner and he's just like, yes, Dino Nuggets time! And he runs up there. Also, I know that this dude is ripped and everything like that, but you can't deny that this guy looks like shit, right? I looked it up. This guy is 1 year older than me. 1 year older than me. Let's do a side by side real quick. 1 year older than me. This guy looks like a decade over me, easily. Here he is putting in all this work, probably just to yell at kids for skateboarding on the sidewalk. And then here I am, average diet, little exercise, and looking and feeling probably so much better than he is, okay? This is peak male performance, if you ask me. Honestly, I think that is enough of King Azuli for one day, don't you think? I think what we need to do now is ban royals from social media. You know, they have come and now we take it away, okay? That's where we've had enough from. As you can tell by me stumbling on my words, I am actively losing brain cells, but if you are a guy in the world watching this and you consume this content and you actively want to engage with this sort of content, just stop. Just put down the social media and pick up a book instead, okay? I feel like this is doing so much more damage than the male loneliness epidemic. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyway, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.